What's happening, guys? So this is kind of a continuation of the Huffing guide, and where I left off with that is I did some guest harvesting, showed you some of the value. From there, what I decided to do is train into the Tech 2 version of the ship, which is the Prospect. What's cool about the Prospect is you can warp cloaked, and it's a little bit safer to travel. And so it makes kind of like your kit a little bit more convenient. You could throw like a mobile depot in your cargo hold and refit probe launcher and cloak. So that way you can get in and out of places of danger, which is very handy. The only downside is you lose your nullifier effect when you go to the T2, so you have to fit warp core stats to get that back for travel purposes. So what I did first was I decided, let's try ninja mining. And if we went into a wormhole, what could we gain? Something I forgot to mention is one of the benefits of going with the Prospect, the T2 version of the Venture, is you get double the cargo hold. So that's important. This can be, it's not required, but it can be handy with gas mining as well. Just because when you're in a wormhole, you do a site for 15 minutes, you warp to the next one. And before your 15 minutes is about up, you're full. What this would allow you to do is do twice that before you have to leave. So if you have to go a few jumps out, it could be worth it for you. A couple things. You have to keep in mind this is a small ship. It's very small equipment. So we're not going to gain a lot of ore versus heavier equipment. So going from low-end ores to higher-end ores, we're really not going to see that much of a difference. Also, the high-end ores are designed for fleets, groups of people with support, with links, where you get all these wonderful bonuses. This is just an experiment. This is not, let's go do this. This would be good if you actually lived in a wormhole. Not necessarily something great if you lived, if you're just going in ninja style. But to make a proper comparison, let's take a look at a couple things. I found this visual chart on Reddit, and I just want to note where we're at. We're second on the list right now. We're using a Prospect with minor 2s, so nothing too special. We're pretty much on the bottom rung. So when starting this video, I took a snapshot of the ore values, and here's a list from greatest to least valuable ores. So we're actually mining the third one down because that's what I could find in this wormhole. Also, I am not able to mine the first one yet, nor can I mine ice. So stay tuned later because I will be doing both of those in the future to see what kind of payout those provide. Alright, we're going to kick this thing into gear, get a full cargo hold, and at least as full as I can get till the rats spawn. And then I will mine a random ore in highsec, and then we'll look at them side by side and see what the difference looks like. Alright, so the wormhole, I just picked the one that was in my system. I jumped in there, it was active, there's 3 people roaming around. Didn't care, I just went right to an anomaly and got started. And I ignored the scan probes. There were probes out when I came in, but I wanted to take the scanning time out of the equation because all those things add up. You know what I mean? Finding the wormhole, finding a site, and going to the site. And of course the sites in the wormhole spawn rats, so I figured the anomaly would be the best bet. And I was there for about 15 minutes before they showed up. I had a little bit of extra cargo space left, and it started becoming a little bit too active for me just to top it off, so I decided to leave. Then I did the highsec mining, and what we're looking at is the 2 side by side. So there's about a 70k difference on the positive side doing the wormhole, but is it worth it? It's very worth it to do it in null and wormhole space, but only really if you live there, if you're using equipment like this, because you're losing efficiency. You need to just keep going. It adds up over time. That's where you make your money. Whereas this, you're spending all this time hauling, scanning, and all that time that you're investing on moving and searching for the product. If you were just to stay in a belt in highsec, you'd make out greater. Or, of course, if you lived in null, you can just hang out in that belt all day and just rake it in. Same thing with living in a wormhole. So, is ninja mining viable? not really. But again, there'll be a continuation of this later when I train the proper skills to mine those the ice and the other ore to see where that comes in. One other thing is in highsec, you would have minor laser upgrades in the low slots that would make up this 70k difference. But that could be said about if you lived in nullsec or wormhole space, you would have that also fitted because you're not ninja mining fitted, where you need those modules like, inertia stabs and warp core stabilizers and stuff to keep yourself protected. And also you don't need to fit a cloak, which, takes a lot of CPU. So I pretty much knew this answer already, that ninja mining wasn't really worth it. But I'm not absolutely positive because I haven't mined those two things, that one ore and the ice yet. So I will do that later and have 100% answer for you guys. But right now, not so much that I could see. Is it worth your time? I've made this character for industrial purposes because I really want to learn about the industrial world and it interests me. So that's what I have planned with this character. So the next step is I need a barge. So I went ahead and mined everything myself. It took me about 2 days with the prospect. And a lot of it was AFK. I was doing ops and stuff on my main and just AFK mining for the most part. And then I built my first barge. It was pretty cool. And then later I mined with that for a while for money. And I just needed skill books and things, and I just didn't have the money. So I decided I will no longer give money to this character. It has to make it on its own. Otherwise, what kind of industrialist am I? So I went and did some more gas harvesting. And this is all low-sec. Actually, 80% of it is low-sec gas mining. And I just want you guys to see the kind of money I pulled in doing this. I was amazed, man. This is using the prospect now. But good Lord, I did this in 1 day. I started gas harvesting, local spiked, and there's probes like 1 AU away from me. So I left, went AFK, came back hours later. I finished that, and then kind of the same thing happened. And then I found a really good site, and I did it. And then found another site, and I got most of that done before a massive fleet jumped in, and I decided to leave. have to say, as a newbie toon, as early as young as this thing is, it's incredible that I was able to make that amount. When I first started, gas harvesting didn't exist, and it took me 3 weeks of hard work of doing missions and mining to get my first battleship. And here, I could have knocked that out in a day. It's pretty amazing that you can make this kind of income early on. So this is definitely a path you could go if you prefer the industrial world. I took this money and I went to Jita with it. Of course, it doesn't last long. And I bought all the parts I needed to turn that retriever into the T2. And then once I got that, I tried to put that in a cooker. I learned, I need more skills. Although it was nice to save money building it myself, I lost the savings because I had to buy 2 skill books, 3 actually, in order to make that. So I lost that. So at least from now on in the future, if I require those skills, I'll have them. And then I pretty much broke the bank on all that. And so I decided to check on my PI, and that's new to me also. And I made about 25 million there, just emptying those out. And I'm making POS fuel for now. I picked that because I knew there would be a lot of content and guides because it's a popular item. So I could get guidance if I got in trouble. And trust me, I've gotten a lot of trouble trying to figure it out. So I'm glad that it's producing, and I'm learning about that, which is great. Well, I hope this video was handy for you guys, and you guys have a good evening. And highsec, it also fit upgraded mining laser. Why can't I do this? Laser. Mini-me, stop being a laser. Hell's Pirates. You're a long way from home. If it's anything like down south, you'll run like hell. Even from this 30-day-old character. Let me rename my ship. Respond to his ship name, Sucking Hard. Not worried about it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna warp in there and have nothing to fight with, but he won't know that. He'll panic and then sign up. And he ran and left local. Thanks for the slate, dude. That usually doesn't work, just so you guys know. I just happen to know these guys run all the time. Here's me visiting their space. They're our neighbors. And I warped in with a T1 frigate. Stayed in this local for 15 minutes and not a single person died. I seriously warped in as they were leaving.
What are you in?
A T1 frigate.